I am. I am anonymous. Not because of the Greek word without name, but because I am unknown. That being unknown is an anonymity that is very powerful and very good. I can't get off the topic because it's such an important construct and concept to me. To do things without getting any acclaim for them, without being named to having done them, without anybody knowing that one has done them. To me, this is really living life in its purest state, to give fully without any need for any return from it. And sometimes it can be and has been very frustrating and very demoralizing, but also it is very worthwhile and full of life and life-giving feeling. I've done in my life many, many anonymous things, some of which are less important, I guess, but ours is anything more or less important than the other if it is for the good of something or someone. One of the habitual anonymous things I do is I clean up bathrooms, public restrooms. I tidy things up because people leave things all over the place. I'll wipe the counter down. I will put trash in the trash. I'll close the trash. I'll flush toilets. I find that to be very rewarding to my heart. And I know that people, even though they have no idea whether they know or not, I think that people are satisfied with a cleaner bathroom where things are more straightened than not, even if they don't keep things clean. I have cleaned dishes for people. I have cleaned houses and straightened things up. And cleaning seems to be the most prominent of the anonymous things, because you can do it without having to expend any money or have any money to do something. And money is not something that I have. I have more as the goodwill, as the desire to make others feel better. Putting things back on the shelf, straightening up the shelf in the supermarket. Fixing a table in a restaurant. Adjusting a chair or two. Making sure that if somebody came in after me, they would have a better time of it rather than the way it was left when I approached it. Giving money anonymously fits in with those types of things of going through a toll booth and giving the toll keeper an extra toll for the person behind you. I like that. I like anonymous gifts. I think those are the most powerful, and those offer the most karmic consequence. Karma is not something that I knew about when I was young. Let us say the word was not so clear to me. I think that over time, through reading, through meeting certain people, through experiencing life and experiencing karma, I realized what it was and I applied it. I was very hesitant in using it. I was very hesitant in offering my faith to it. But eventually, it has become a name and a word that I use regularly for all of my actions. When I arrived at the Angel Tunnel in the early or the late parts of the 1900s, the early 20th century, I was armed with this word, and I was already becoming very clear about it as a beautiful construct. So that when I started playing in this tunnel, in the Angel Tunnel in Central Park, I was very aware that my actions, being that they were almost anonymous, very close to it, were part of a karmic structure in my life. At that point, I had really understood that being that I had this talent, I had these gifts, to give them to people, to not ask for anything from them in return, but to give this to people passing by, was a purely and wonderfully karmic action. Of course, people could give me dollars or more as a sign of their having found it beneficial to them to receive my sound. But I was not waiting for it. I was not expecting it. I was just there doing my work and receiving whatever I could receive. Not expecting anything to be received either. In a certain sense, I was anonymous. Nobody really knew who I was. I had my name on my song. I had a name on my violin case. I had a name on a little book that I had. But my name, my actual name, was hidden. So therefore, I did not have a name. I was working in the namespace of Thoth. And for those who experienced me, they experienced this namesake as that which was my name, but that was not my given name. So, was it me or was it somebody else? Was it the energy Thoth? Was it me in the sense of that which was given to me as a name from my birth? In Bali, people who are first born are called Wayan. I am Wayan also. Is that my name? So anonymous without name could mean any one of those things. I am anonymous. I live and give without giving a name to the action that I gave. And I do those actions with a heart compassion that I believe people receive and are enlightened by it, let us say. Enlightened is a really good word to speak of it. If somebody comes into a bathroom and they find that the counters have been cleaned, the bathrooms, the toilets are flushed, any number of things, wiping up the goo from the soap, it makes their day better, so they're enlightened. If I pick up something, if I find something of theirs and give it, and place it in a safe space so that they can receive it again, they're enlightened by that gift. There are many ways of doing anonymous actions that are compassionate and heartfelt. I've done many of them, and I am very happy to continue doing them. The karma that I speak of, I don't do it for the sake of karma, because in a sense that's in a sake of I expect to get something back from it. But I do it from the sake of the compassion and the feeling and the heart feeling that I feel, and I believe that people, somebody, and those people are anonymous to me. So anonymosity is reciprocal. If you are anonymous, then those who receive your anonymous gifts are anonymous also. And thus, there is some sort of enlightening and heightening of something that makes the world better. One could attach that to karma. one could say that is really what karma is, because karma comes from the enlightening of another, from the anonymous gift to enlighten another to a greater and happier state. That is good, and thus that is karma. And the receiving of that by that person could be deemed from them a karmic experience for them. So I adopted this word. I use it now. I use it not in the religious sense. I use it in the sense of science and truth, in the sense of causality. And that is the best way to use it. My faith is fully invested in karma. When I speak to others, speak from that place. I do not speak from a religious space. I speak purely from the sense of causality. If one does a good action, then it puts goodness in the world. That is pure karmic action. That is pure karma. There is no other thing. If one does a good action, Jesus is going to come down and lift me up. That is what I call religious garbage. It doesn't have any meaning whatsoever. It has no purpose or no use. The only use that I can see is I do it and somebody will be happy for it. There is no, this God will then come down and lift me up and put me in heaven, or this will do that and that will do this, because that doesn't even make any sense to me. What makes sense is doing good for one's fellow beings. I, as a human being, perceive myself or consider myself to be full of beautiful karma and full of beautiful anonymous actions to my fellow beings. I do it with purpose and love. This is important to me. I live my life doing that. I sacrifice things in my life to give to others. And I do that not with the sense that I will get something, but with the sense that someone else will get something. And that is pure karma. That is pure anonymous behavior. So, I am anonymous. I say that with redundancy because I want to continue saying that. I will continue to say that. In taking the name Thoth, I took it because I am anonymous. My name, that name that those people think is my legal name, I do not hold up for people. Thus, in legal action, they are not able to reach me through the name Thoth. But the name Thoth then is raised up and referenced as a name connected with a good action, a name connected with something quite beautiful in someone's life. So when I was in the Angel Tunnel in Central Park and I was giving and sacrificing myself for the good of others, in that name Thoth, then that name then is enlightened and is full of all of that energy of goodness. The karma of that is full and great for the beauty of beings throughout history and throughout the universe.